I am training you guys. I get paid to train you, not for me to trade. And that is where we are different. My sole responsibility is to make sure you are getting what you need out of this, not what I need. That's why I can't, oh, I made millions myself. It's for you guys. All right, here we go. Rock and roll today. Now remember, Apple was down in the pre-market. We'll see if we're going to get a pop at the bell. SPY's pulling here at the open. Remember to please be careful. There goes your Apple pop. Like I said, it pulled in the pre-market, which typically means it's going to pop at the open. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Apple is trying to flip from red to green right now. First 2-minute EWO on Apple. So let's see, SPY. SPY is still pulling. Watching on SPY here to there it is. Get that nice pop. There it is. Yes. Boom. I'll take it. That's $2,000. Just took that SPY to the upside. 15 contracts on that simulated account. Prop firm. SPY right here. Looking for it to break the 200 MA, and I'll long it again. Stops and position sizes, everybody. That is risk management. SPY pulling back off the 200. Waiting to see if SPY is going to break through VWAP here to the downside. If it does, I will get into shorts or puts if you were options.
Amazon, your lower day.
Thank you. Qs are flat. Qs are finding support around 528, but it looks heavy still. Just like SPY heavy. Right here. SPY cannot bounce here. I'm going to go short. Waiting. This is a bounce zone for SPY right here on VWAP. Just I'm being very mindful not to get in early, and I will go in slow if it does break.
602.15. I have that as a good line on SPY.
So far, this is heavy over here on SPY, but you must respect this area. Watching the volume. Checking the L2s. I don't really see anything specific on that right now. No major heavy hitters in there. Good volume though on SPY right now. Very heavy.
Order filled.
What do you say you need to break under 602?
No, below VWAP. I'm taking
Order
it.
filled.
That's 1,000. Looks like I got a bad fill. So far I'm up 1,872 on the day. So the last two had bad fills, but that's all right. $1,800 up so far for the day. SPY is pulling below VWAP, like I said. Hopefully.
1 minute on hold time for hot stock peak TSTEC. Sorry, coach.
That's all right. Thank you. All right. SPY again to the downside below VWAP. Did anybody get in there?
Yep.
Good job. Good job. I'm just waiting. What do I need to break this one? So this one, to beat this combine, I need $3,300 more and this combine will be complete. All right, SPY right here, still waiting. 601.60 is where it's sitting. Not getting back in yet till I see this start to flush to the downside or pop up. Keeping an eye on it. Apple's consolidating here at 246.
Order filled.
Going in small with SPY to the downside. Looking good.
Order filled.
Adding.
Order filled.
Taking it off. Up 2,267 for the day. Still heavy to the downside.
Order filled. Order filled.
Just took another 500, up 2,600 for the day. SPY still to the downside. Gonna go smaller this time. The closer I get from SPY being close of market previous day, the smaller position size I'll go. And it's at 0.2. It's $1 away. 600 is gonna be everything on SPY, gang. Looks like that's gonna be around where I had close of market yesterday, okay? So be very careful the closer we get to 600. Do you hear the sound of my voice?
Yeah, you're right about the fill. They're terrible today.
Yeah. So I'm just going in lighter, or I'm doing it really fast. Remember though, small position sizes. Don't blow up your accounts, even if you're on prop firms or whatever you're doing. Small position sizes. That's the key. Right now I'm doing between 3 and 5 contracts at a time because I've already made a good chunk of money off this today. So now I'm not going to give it back, and I'm just going to start taking little bits all the way till I hit the promised land. Unless, of course, I see something major, a major rug pull or a super pop, right, with a lot of volume. So I'll watch those. If I see any of those, you guys know me, I'll try to get the tail end of one of them. So I'll go
Are you enjoying your experience with American Dream Trading? Great! We'd love to hear from you. Your feedback helps us continue to grow and provide the best in stock market education to new and advanced traders. How about leaving us a review? Great! Just go to AmericanDreamTrading.com, click Write a Review, leave us a rating, and then leave your review. It's just that simple. Thanks so much. We really appreciate your feedback. See you soon. What up? Welcome to American Dream Trading's the Aftermarket Live Chat and Watch Party. I'm your host, Dawn, aka J&J Video Reacts. My music just totally disappeared. What the hell? I meant to turn it down, not completely off. What is going on, everybody? Let's go with the lo-fi. Hello? What the hell's that? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. This is a stream that's been created for traders to kick back, relax, and let their hair down after the market. Talk about their trades, talk about the coach's strategies that we learn on a daily basis, and just basically fellowship and get to kind of help each other through this crazy thing called trading. Coach is Chad W. Christian, who's a 33-year stock market vet. He has literally traded in every market condition imaginable and trains us how to do the same thing. So, hold on one second here. Give me 1 second. I don't know what is going on there. Okay. Okay. So, and he gives us the opportunity to learn and do things the right way. There's so many gurus out there who basically train you but they don't do any training. They trade and you watch them trade, right? That's not really learning. There's a member in here the other day who asked about, well, can we see some of, one of the trainers' trades? And another member said, that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I get what you're saying, but really it's about what you're doing. So we need to watch what you're doing. How about we look at some of your trades and go back and back test and see what you did and see what you maybe did wrong. Don't forget to journal what you do right, so that when you have those bad days, you can go back and figure out what you did right and get back on track. Right. So tonight, we're going to do something. Coach had a very, very, very powerful live stream this morning, and I was listening to it. I thought, this is so cool. We're going to edit this up and get you the clips that are coming out of it. But I thought it would be cool to watch some of that tonight. For those of you that may have missed it, maybe you were, in futures. I know Mark plays it, but it's really, really cool. He really hit home with a lot of stuff, and he did a lot of good lessons today and had the board up. So I figured, thank you. I hear somebody coming on the panel. Listen, shout out to us for making sure that we hit that 15,000 subscribers. We are moving onward and upward now. Hold on. We are moving onward and upward. The next goal is 20K. So right now we're at 15,033 and we've only got 49.67 to go. I remember that big number when we were trying to go from 10K to 15K. Oh my God, I remember that. So, but hey, we did it once, we can do it again, right? Let's just keep it moving. So right now we're 15,033, only 49.67 to go, and we will be there. So let's do it. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button so that we can get moved up the algorithm. Share the video and subscribe if you are not already. Let's see, who do we have backstage here? Let me make sure. All right. Milk Money. See, I had the settings right.
Yeah, you did.
I had the settings right today. How'd you do today?
Right around 14% total account.
Sweet. Sweet,
Yeah.
sweet, 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 sweet.
Good day.
I did good. I made $100 today. I was up
Good.
about 150 and I gave 50 of it back, but I kept 100. I wasn't crazy, but that's only because I see what the market did. It set us up. It gave us all that good momentum and then gave us a bunch of chop for those people who kept wanting to get that extra, extra, extra. So I'm like, no, 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 you're not getting all my money back. No, I know what you're doing. But yeah, actually I didn't lose all 50. I did end up at the end of the day getting 25 of that back. So I only lost $25 of it back.
Nice work.
Yeah, $125. But I'm telling you, the biggest difference was getting my Weeble attached to the Trading View. For those of you who are gold members or members of, we have indicators that have been customized for this group. And you have to be a member of the group to get them, and you attach them to Trading View, and you just got to get your own Trading View membership. And let me tell you, oh my goodness, what a difference that makes, being able to just click the button to get in, get out, click on your stop, move it up, move it down, X out of the trade if you want to just hurry up and get. I mean, it's a game changer for me. And I realized I spent a lot of time on my phone, most of the time getting in and out of the trade. And it
Yeah,
would affect,
I'm sure.
yeah, dude. And it would affect my trading because I knew I had to, if I wanted to get out, I had to start preparing like 2 minutes ahead of time. Right. And it's like, they're right. This is like cumbersome. So I need to go ahead and get that set up. So yeah, it made a huge difference. I was able to get in and out, make money, had stops, wasn't worried about losing anything because once it got green, I was able to protect the trade. So I knew I wasn't going to lose anything. And it was just, how much do you want from there? Even if it wasn't in the green yet, just putting it literally right under, I'm like, listen, here's the thing. I'm not going to lose jack shit. Because if you come down, I don't care how close it is. I'm getting stopped right out if you come against what I'm trying to do. So that's my own, you know what I mean? I'm not taking any chances. So, but yeah. So I'm glad you made your 14%. I'm glad I made money. Who else made money today? Is anybody else coming up here on the panel with us? Did you see Coach's video today? His live?
I didn't see it, but I was listening to it.
He was on fire, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like,
absolutely.
dude, we got to replay that. I'm like,
Yeah, it was really great.
yeah.
It hits all the spots, right? Like we are an incredible group of people who, just all the things. Like you can't put it into words. You have to be here, you have to show up, and you have to be a part of it. That to get the full full on
experience,
raw moments that happen here. And it starts at 4 a.m. Eastern.
Mark, I'm thinking about Mark was sour today. But yeah, you have to absolutely, you got to commit. So if you don't commit, there's no way you're gonna get it and be successful, and certainly not be consistent with it anyway. You may get lucky once in a while, but if you don't get the skills down and get the mindset right, you're not gonna get it.
Absolutely agree with that. How much work have you done, Dawn, to get to this point?
2.5 years worth of screen time and watching many different people come through here and getting it done and how they did it and listening to the things that they said that they did, watching Coach, constantly listening to him say the same things, getting frustrated over and over again when people don't listen. And basically training, going on my weekend time and getting in replays and back testing and playing certain stocks, practicing getting in and out, practicing how I should be thinking, reading. It's like watching videos, making the damn videos. It's like a lot went into the 2 years. So to start seeing some ease in it now and not being scared to trade because I know what I'm I'm almost getting misty here because I know what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, holy shit, dude, you actually know how to do this now. Now you need the right tools. And it was so weird because today I felt like for the first time, I finally had the right tools. I felt like I had been driving on a stick, and somebody finally just said, here's an automatic, here's a Tesla. You don't have to drive shit. Here's a Tesla. Just get in the driver's seat, click a couple of buttons, and go. And don't get in anything that you don't see that is advantageous or that makes sense, you know? And it was just go time. So yeah, I did get a little misty. It was go time, and that was huge because I knew today that okay, the losing's over. The
What do you
losing's
think?
finally over.
What do you think in the last 2 years has held you back?
Me, my attitude, greed, but a mixture of greed and fear. And that it's just as simple as that. Being greedy and getting in trades that I shouldn't have, trying to force trades. And I realized today, sitting back and watching trades run on their own, knowing I had stops and all I had to do was move it up, and that I waited for the right setup. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm up 100 and some odd dollars. I don't have to fight for a trade. Like, I've made my money today, really. Like, my goal today was $50. So I tripled it. Then I ultimately ended up doubling in a half. So my only goal was a realistic expectation of $50. And I was like, wow, this can be done like easily if I just wait for the right step. So I didn't feel the need, which is why it pissed me off in the afternoon, because when it got choppy, I had no business messing around with that. I could have taken the gains that I had, and then at the end of the day, I ended up getting a lot back that I had chopped away. But I'm like, if you had just sat on your hands and waited for the thing that usually happens at the end of the day, you could have taken that to $400, because I have $325 in my account now. So I'm like, you could have taken that to 400 easy. So you need to chill, stop jumping in the chop. You said yourself this morning you didn't have to do that anymore. You can just sit back, make the money, and just wait for setups. Why are you in the chop? And I stopped. So I will not be doing that tomorrow. I can be picky now because I'm not trading to like pay bills. Christina, I heard Christina say something. She jumped in there this afternoon and she was talking to Eric Smoto, and I felt so bad because I know what it's like to have under $100 in your account trying to trade up and make some money off of it. And you can do it. You just have to be okay with taking $5 and $10 hits at a time when they come, because I just did it. I just went through it. I just built my account up from 70 something dollars up to like, 215, 216. And then today I took that to 325. So I'm like, it can be done. Coach says it all the time. You don't need a lot of money to make money in this game. But I know where she's at. She's frustrated and she's making $5 and $10. And we all know, we've heard countless times what she needs. So I was so feeling her, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh man, I know what that feels like. But she did say something good. Like, she said, listen, and it was the same thing that I had said. If you take trading for money out of the equation, and just like you did initially, you came in here just looking to do manicures and Starbucks coffee with your earnings, and it turned into a whole new world. But when you came in with that expectation that was just, hey, I just want some extra money, that's what it needs to be. It really does need to start out that way and stay that way until you realize, okay, wait a minute, I can actually make a living at this, because now my account is here and I got here because I'm doing it right. So she knows how to do it right. If she could just do it with the small amounts and have the patience to sit through that, she'll be back where she was in no time.
Absolutely agree with that statement. And I'm a firm believer too that sometimes, because everybody has their own bottom, right? You know, or some people could call it their rock bottom. Some people call it their lesson, whatever, or their experiences that lead them to their spot that they're in, right? And Palm said something today that spoke to me a bit, because we all know what Palm's up to these days, and his contribution to the community is hand over fist. The biggest blessing to one of the biggest blessings to the community.
Yeah.
But he said something, because I asked what, you know, when you get to the point where you do what you're able to do, where do you go from here? And he said something along the lines where he takes everything out of it. I wrote it down. He strips it down basically, and he likes to push the envelope. And
that's funny.
He likes to trade with peace and finish with pride.
Nice.
So he said that today, and I thought that was huge, because I feel like we all, I mean, the reality of it is we're all here really to make money. We're all here to make a living. We're all here to change something in our life, you know, whether it's to have, you know, not have that phone bill, or, you know, fill up that gas tank, or pay off that mortgage, or be debt free, or be able to give back to communities, whatever. Like, for everybody, it's different. Yeah. But if we strip the process down and not look at it as as something that's monetary, and we look at it when we go into each trade that we're in, or each setup that sets itself up for us, we're looking at it as just achieving the goal of doing it right. The money will come.
Yeah.
So I always think about that, and I loved hearing that today, because I think all of us are experiencing a transition, you know, and whatever that is and where we're at within our careers here. And that spoke to me, because I thought that's absolutely true. We got people that have just come in that don't know diddly squat, and we got people that have been here, a part of this group for as long as it's been here, but have been in the business for 30 plus years.
Right.
So we got everyone in here, and every one of us is here to attain something. But if we strip it down and just know that if we do the right thing when we're supposed to, everything else comes along with it. Yes. So that spoke to me today, because I thought, man, when you ask questions like that, you know, some people are like, oh, they want to know that you want to maximize monetarily, or you want to like grow this or that exponentially. But then to hear that it actually has nothing to do with money, period, you know, it changes your perspective on how you approach even your own goals.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge.
It is. And it's like, you know, it becomes a thing of where you don't have to focus so much on making money. You just have to make sure you're doing it right. Because at the end of the day, you know, us as mods, we're responsible for helping coach train the flock. And Absolutely. If we're doing it wrong and constantly not in the right mindset, what are we passing on?
Exactly.
You know? So we got to think about the community as a whole. When they constantly see us screwing up and doing wrong things, it's like, well, what are you, you know, who am I learning from? You know what I mean? So I personally take that into consideration when I'm making trades. Now I'm not just doing this for me. You know, I'm doing this for people that I want to be able to pass this on to. My wife, she wants to learn how to do it, and I'm not going to teach her the wrong way. She's not going to be going through a bunch of the bull crap that I did, because she's not going to do it the wrong way. You know, it's like, you've got your, you know, son doing it. You don't want him bogged down with bad habits. You know, learning from someone, multiple people who are disciplined and doing it the right way. So yeah, it's awesome. It's huge.
Yeah, it was a huge day today to really focus not just on process, but the gratitude that comes along with it.
Yeah.
You know, I think we hit all the elements today. We really truly did.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I think as you know, as the newest members when they come in here and they, you know, I've told the one before, like, you have the keys to the kingdom. Now you need to buckle up, put your head down, focus, get through the mechanics, set those goals, and work on them until you're blue in the face, until you've got it down. And it'll happen, right?
Yeah.
So like it's so important, you know, and you can't jump into this thinking you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. You can't do that. But so many of us want it,
Yeah.
you know? I mean,
it's
it would
inevitable.
be foolish, right? It'd be foolish to say that we don't, you know, but being that, you know, being that next level though too comes with huge responsibility as well. Because it's not just personal. When you're a part of this community, it's a direct reflection of the people you surround yourself with.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I wouldn't be half the trader that I am. In fact, I wouldn't be. Let's be honest. I wouldn't be one, period. If I didn't surround myself with the people that I do, you know, and if I didn't think bigger, because I have to.
Yeah.
You know, I myself, I have to think bigger when I come in here every morning and I'm logging in at the start of pre-market for stocks. I have a choice of how my day is going to go. I may not know how the stock market's going to be. I may not know how the futures market's going to be, but I know how my attitude will be. And sometimes that's enough.
That's huge what you just said. God, that's huge. Dude, that is huge. I need to clip that.
Well, it's
I need to clip
important,
that.
right? Like it is
It's
so
huge.
important.
Because you just said what so many people miss. They try to control what's going on in the market and they can't do it. The only thing you can really control is how you're approaching it and how you're thinking about it, you know, and what your reactions are to what's happening on the screen. That's the only thing you can control.
Yep.
You know, and when you go in knowing that deep down in your soul, you can actually go in properly. Okay. Sorry, my phone started ringing. You can go in properly and do what you need to do. You know? Why is it still ringing? What?
Well, even if the market goes sideways, right? Like we're trained to take it long, we're trained to take it short, and we're trained to take it sideways. But if you come
Right.
in here with a shitty attitude,
Yeah.
you're gonna have shitty trades.
Yep. If you come in and you're doing well and you let it get shitty because all of a sudden you start losing because you're over trading, that's your fault. You stayed in it. You kept doing it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like I literally had to, and I'm still in the ending phases of being stupid. So I had to literally pull myself away from the computer today. But at least I did it. Nobody is gonna come in the room and say, hey, come on away, you've traded enough, you've made your money, let's go for you give it all back. Nobody's gonna do that. You have to do it for yourself.
Yep.
You know,
That's true.
You made it.
Yeah, I did. Hey, look, congratulations on the big day, Dawn. You too, Edge.
Thanks,
Y'all
man.
both did good. Y'all killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did make it. I was sitting there about to just start counting sheep, and then I looked on the Discord, and I saw, you know how that little green light come on, and they be like, the aftermarket starting right now. I was like, oh shoot, the aftermarket starting. And then I got a phone call, and then I looked on it. I said, what? It's on the engine, Dawn. I said, let me get up there.
Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate
I
that.
ain't come here to hold y'all up and nothing like that, but you know, I just come to talk.
No, you appreciate it. Hey, look, the fuller the panel, the better. It makes for a more exciting show. It makes for different, you know, conversations. So thank you. I'm glad you made it. I know you're tired. I appreciate you making it. And the more new members we get in here, people are gonna, you know, they're gonna come up. So it always happens in waves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, I'm stoked. So let's play a few minutes of this before we get out of here, because I don't want it to be a really long show. But let's play some of this video from Coach today, because it was amazing, his messages. I didn't timestamp it, but all of it was good. It's like just throw a dart, pick a spot, because he was preaching the gospel today.
He was. He was.
What?
I was just sitting here thinking whenever y'all was talking about y'all
If
trades.
it's not clickbait, they're not going to say it anyways. You can.
And I was like, I didn't catch the run because I was so busy listening to that coach. I was like, forget Spy right now. Hey, coach was in that mode today, for real. This from today.
Yeah, he really was. Yeah.
That was classic. I gotta hear it.
Yeah, I was listening while in the trade, and I'm like, oh my God, this is good stuff. And he kept saying, media team, you need to clip that. And I'm already thinking in the back of my mind, oh, he's got the drawings on there. It's like Arlo is probably already on top of it, but I'm definitely going to dip my toe in there and see if I can't get some of that footage and do some stuff with it, because it was good. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah. Let me see.
You're going to get little snippets, little 20-second snippets. Has anybody ever talked to you like this? Literally for 20, 30 minutes from actual real life experience? Has anybody done this with you? Are you going to see this on TV?
It's amazing, Coach. The stuff that you share with us. And just keep in mind, when Elon releases Optimus, his robots, oh my God, dude.
That's what I said. It'll be next level. So anyways,
I'm going to leave us on screen.
Listen,
so
I'm going to
people
take off, but I'm going to try to hop back in here a little bit later. At least I'm going to.
This is the one from today, right? Yeah.
I think it is.
Trying to see where he did.
We will do a giveaway. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're now at 15.
Oh, yeah. He was saying 15,000, so that's got to be it. Live.
Going to try to do that. Everybody be cool. Have a... Yeah, Tom Cruise on the back end makes more. My people make more on the front end. Yeah, but I hear you. I got people now that are churning 20, 30 million a year, right? So let's take a peek, by the way.
Okay, here we go.
This is reversing.
So $3.92 million volume. Why do I not have a float on that? I cannot. Why is there no float? Anybody see what the float is? I can't. There, it's not showing. I don't know how many shares they have outstanding, but
they just made $250 on it.
Yep, nice job. Good job. LOBO. What time is that going to unhalt? 9:40, 9:35. There it goes. It's unhalted now.
Yes,
LOBO. LOBO just went live. New high day. LOBO. Well, new.
He was
high
on that
session,
one today, wasn't he?
Yeah.
LOBO. I think it just halted again to the upside.
Yes, sir. Did that 230. I just moved it up a notch. Thank God.
So Miranda just said 1038ish is what she wrote down.
Okay.
Thank you. That's nice.
Okay, Miranda.
Nice.
Yep,
Tesla with
cool.
a huge
Thanks,
pullback.
Miranda.
Q's
Let's see,
starting to pull back
10:30.
just a little bit.
Let's go.
It's riding the 9. Let it go, right? How long? Forever.
I gotta mess with the
long is that?
forevers too. Miranda, you know I gotta grab the forevers. I gotta play with that.
Time.
But what
'Cause
about,
he's
should I
like
sell it now,
20,000
coach?
times.
Forever. Well, how about now, though?
I'm gonna have
It's got
fun
a
with
red candle,
that.
coach. It's got a red candle right now. How about now?
Goodbye.
Forever. But, coach, there's another red candle. That's 3 candles in a row, coach. What about right now? Forever. Is this on?
Coach, how long? How long
Right.
to be
What
on?
about now? What about right
Christine
now? It's
is
a red
crazy.
candle. It's a red candle right now, though. Stop. Stop freaking out. Who's in the 2-minute EWO on SPY to the upside?
Okay, so let's pause it right here. For those of you who don't know or who are unfamiliar with what he's talking about, if you're brand new, if you've never seen this show before, this 2-minute EWO is Coach's custom strategy that he uses the Elliott Wald oscillator to basically determine when to get in a trade and how long to hold on to it. It's basically a trade designed to let runners run despite pullbacks, despite what it looks like you or feels like you want to do. This trade should carry you through that and end up making you profitable at the end of the day. So if you got in here right when this 2-minute EWO started, you should be holding through all of this, even through these pullbacks and things like that. Why? Because you got in way down here. This is what's behind the how long should I hold on to? Forever. That's where that's coming from. He's talking about.
Yeah,
So
that was a beautiful
even up
Evo
here.
too.
Yeah, it was. Look at that thing.
Monster.
Nana.
I have one.
Looking to buy back in, I got stopped out just right below the 9.
I got stopped out on
Like
9. I'm
$3?
waiting for
Yeah, that
new
was
entry right
ES.
now.
Me
So,
too.
Listen,
Me
hold
too,
on,
Nana.
hold on. Listen, hold on. Don't ever. Good job, but try not to get wicked out. But that's a good job.
Yeah, I got
I would
wicked
rather
out.
that happen, right, than not. But just
Yeah,
be
I had to
careful
get
of
back
wicks. Now, if you guys look at the difference, I want you to look at it. We are in a pattern change right now. Can anybody see a pattern change? I can.
Yep, that's why I'm not in.
yeah,
So what did
that's
we
why I'm
have?
waiting.
Watch. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. What's this?
Consolidation.
That's
Yes.
right. So is this a pattern change from it going stair step?
It's doing something different. Yes,
That's
sir.
right. So we're always observing this. We're not panicking, but we must always pay attention to this. So you had stairs to consolidation, which tells me this is support. Okay, if you look at this closely, so what would I do? Draw a line right there. That is support.
Yep.
That breaks below that, I'm out. Now you got the 21 right here. So some of you, right, could be like, well, it's like 10 cents. That's up to you. But I'm just saying, in general, as long as it stays in this consolidation range, which is above this level, so on SPY right here around 567, we'll just say 75 to have something. See it? As long as you stay above that, you are golden. You will leave it alone. It was stair-stepping, consolidating. As long as it stays above here, I don't freak out at all, ever, the rest of the day. I mean, ever at all. I don't freak out ever at all day. Well, how long do I stay in it? Well, what about now? Forever. Well, what about right now, coach? But I want to make money. I've never made this kind of money before. I want to take my money out right now. Forever.
Oh my gosh.
But coach, I made
Almost lost
$10,000.
it.
The most I've ever made in a single trade is $400. What do I do now? Stay in it forever.
He's in the zone.
Do you understand me? I'm telling you, how many people are like, well, I got out. I'm getting out right now. I'm getting out right now. Oh, my P&L so high. I've never seen so much money before. I'm getting out.
Actually, what they say, coach, is I got stopped out.
Yeah, that'll be the number one thing. I got stopped out, and then it stopped out, and then I got stopped out, and then I got stopped out, and then I got stopped out, and then.
Well, I did.
It's like there's a bunch of Death Eaters coming and take away your money.
Yeah, exactly. Fear and greed. I want you guys to look at Apple. What is Apple exactly right now? What is it? Tell me now.
Triple top.
Oh,
Cup and handle.
What
Oh,
quint
perfect
top?
cup and
It
handle.
is. It's
Look
a
at
crown
that.
top. But look at this. Cup. Handle.
And then it takes
What's
off.
this?
Retest.
That's
There it
like the
is.
quintessential textbook
So
cup
if
and
that
handle.
breaks and hold above here,
It is.
isn't that extremely
Bullish.
Bullish.
Thank you.
Bullish.
Thank
Bullish.
you.
I guess
What
that's
if it
kinda
what if it rejects this area?
Bullish. Bearish.
Then you shed or you
Lights
get out.
out.
Yep.
Get your stop losses in place. Get your puts order ready.
That's right. And get your popcorn ready. Now listen, here's what will typically happen on a cup and handle breakout.
All right, here we go.
Cup,
Get out your
handle.
pens.
It'll try to pop through. It'll look like it's great. You'll be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like right now, everybody's like, load the
And it will
boat,
pull
load the
back.
boat. And then it'll go,
Yeah.
we
You
don't
gotta
do
wait
that
for the
here.
confirmation.
Yeah, so everybody be cool. Listen to me. So up here on the ceiling, you will allow this room before you get all giddy. Woo! No, you don't. Until we are way up here. Where are we at? Hold on, let me tell you exactly. Here, hold on. I'll just give you to the freaking penny. How's that sound? Doesn't get any better than that. Shoots and ladders.
Dude,
Shoots
this
and
is
ladders.
good shit. Make sure you listen here.
Yeah,
It's
be
good
about,
shit.
yeah, I'm about right. 212. You see that? Until that breaks that area to the top,
Oh, look at that.
this spot. I don't trust any of that. Do you understand me? Why? Cup,
Talking about for re-entry, right?
handle, correct. Cup, handle. Now we're just inside of this area that this whole area is a retest. The entire area.
Yep.
This entire area is the retest. Oh my gosh. The media
That's
team,
a
this is
supply
about 800
zone.
videos today. Retest right here. Man, I am in a training mood. You guys
So,
better be
Coach,
taking this in because once I get to training mode, this is millions of
What'd you
dollars
say,
pouring
Rob?
out of my face. It's
I said, here it come.
Yeah.
coming right out of my eyeballs.
So, Coach, I sold there at the top and bought back when it came back to the 9 and the 21 area.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's good.
still in that trade. I've sold off most of it. And I just have a
Great.
few runners. Would you sell out and wait for the break right now, or would you just hold on?
I would get rid of some, so probably 50 to 80%. I would have the rest, my stop right here at this 21. Why the 21, not the 9?
Because the 21's
Because
the
it usually
backbone of the
bounces.
trade.
Because that's right. It has been respecting the 21 the whole time, which
Yep.
tells me it could come down to the 21. Bounce. Everybody makes sense?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Millions of dollars are coming out of my face
Yes.
right now.
Thanks, boss.
You got it. Millions of dollars should be being made right now.
I'm not sure I'm understanding this. Can you demonstrate with two contracts? Let's do one call and one put. Let's call it a straddle.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Oh. I like where you're headed. Let's go with a straddle. We could do it where? Right now. Why? Because if it goes long and it breaks this spot, I would kill my short. If it goes this way to shorting, I would kill my long. This would be my straddle. These will be my calls. These will be my puts. This is where I kill my call. This is where I kill my puts. And then I allow it to run from those areas.
Hey, as dumb as it sounds, this kind of hit me this weekend out in the garage. I was thinking guerrilla warfare. Why not attack this from both sides?
That's right.
And then it hit me last night. Oh, that's called a straddle, you funny
Right.
guy.
That's right. Absolutely. When
Dude,
it,
I have to say this real quick. Jen walked in here because I have two screens, right? So he was up, his was up, and he was on the one. And my trading view was up with all of the colors, and I've got the L2 detached and on the side and the top. And she walked in, she was like, God, that looks like some kind of weird computer genius, like engineering. She said, "What is going on your screens? Can you tell what any of that is?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, and I sat back and looked. I'm like, "Holy crap! I know what all of this is." And like 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. So yeah, it's fun. It's
When
fun
in doubt,
to see other
straddle it
people's
out. Isn't
reactions
that
to
the
those
words?
screens.
That's it. That's
Yep.
it. Just never put two and two together. But yeah, man, I'm glad I caught that.
Yes, absolutely. Great call, by the way. Yeah, whenever we're at a key strategic area, remember, we play on the volatility, right? Because you got to remember, if you're cutting it off here and then the other one here, that means this entire area, we make no money here, right?
Right.
It's
See
not
how they
until
got
we
the baby cup
break
inside the cup
that one or the
and
other
the
where we
handle
make
underneath?
money. Because think about it. If it's moving to the upside, my put loses money. If it's moving to the downside, my call is losing money.
This
It's
is a
not
straight
until
straddle
I kill
video.
one,
I
let
can
the
do
other
this
go,
tonight,
which
Miranda,
I
if you
have
want.
to wait for confirmation, meaning it has
'Cause Jem
clearly
works
shown
late.
me the direction it wants to move. Then and only then will I make my profit. Media
take that
team,
whole section right
video
there.
1067 just released. There you go. Make it happen.
Yep.
Thank you.
Excellent, Coach.
Thank
Straddle
you. Appreciate
101.
you guys. Look at this. So even right here, you're like, this is it. I'm going to long it all. No, I'm not.
Not yet.
Not at all. Hell no. This right here is where suckers get ripped off. Right? This is where the guy opens the trench coat to sell you a fake Rolex. Am I right?
Right, because look at it. It comes down
Wanna
from
buy a
there
watch?
every time.
Not a fake Rolex.
Yeah. I've got the fake Rolex right next to me. If you, I've got that. I didn't get it though from the guy in a trench coat, but
You think he's gonna buy, ask you to buy a Rolex, but he's flashing you instead. That's what happens.
Oh boy. Now look, this is speaking
Here
from
she go with the
experience.
flash.
Sergio selling watches in the city
He had
again.
to take it there.
Oh boy. Now listen, right? I
Somebody
listen.
said
You
Sergio
better be
selling
listening to the
watches.
sound of my voice. This was a cup. Handle. Retest. Danger
Yep.
zone. Everybody in the room's like, it's gonna go long forever now.
I mean, you can look at it and tell that's
Really?
not what it does when it gets to
Let's
that
see
area.
what happens, because I'm telling you, this is where they will fake you out, rip your soul out, and you'll be like, but I thought it broke above this little tiny key area. This is not
true.
confirmation until we start to see it breaking through this area.
And it never
Because
really
right
did.
now it's
I don't
still
think it
literally
did. It
sitting
started
where
just going
everybody,
sideways.
if you
It
were
just
an
chopped.
L2 trader,
It chopped all day
right,
after
we talk
that.
about support and resistance, supply
If you
and
didn't
demand.
make your money in the morning,
This is what's
you
sitting
got
up
chopped
here.
up.
This is where
Yep.
everybody wants to sell because they see everybody's up here, right? All the rooks are like, I'm gonna load the
And the
boat,
same thing
go
with oil.
on now."
Oil did the same thing.
So, Coach, this is still like a triple top to watch out for.
Yeah, this
That-
whole area, I think it's a quad or a 5 times it right here. But it has not broke through and held yet. Therefore, I do not long it. Do you understand me?
Yep.
Most of the
Yes, sir.
industries had that too.
Right? Everybody be cool.
area.
I'm
M2A was
serious.
choppy.
Or short it and have your stop right here. And as soon as it breaks to the upside, flip the script. Boom. Now it will give us the definitive and go, right? But I'm serious.
brown
This
right
is
there, too.
where, right, the rooks get wrecked and the pros make the money. Is because of the, look at this. Look at the beauty. Look at this drawing. This is nice. Video
Yes, sir.
number
Nice.
1087 today, media team.
Oh. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, we got to pull this from Dropbox because I'm like, where's the drawings? I saw him drawing, but that's going to
Yeah.
be on Dropbox.
We'll
And
see.
He didn't
You
show.
never
He doesn't
know,
show
but
it to the
I just-
free.
I need
side.
everybody to understand these key
that's true.
areas and why it makes.
I
so
forgot.
much
I was looking
sense
at
and
my
what to
Zoom
look
screen. I'm
out
like, there was a
for and
bunch
not
of
to just-
drawings in
This
here.
is called FOMO, right? This whole thing has now created so much FOMO, fear of missing out, that it's going to continue to go to the upside, and everybody's going to load the boat and be like, "Yeah, this is great. Here we go."
I thought you were going to say the Danger Zone song.
That's actually really smart that he
Yeah, and now look at where Apple is right
keeps
here.
that off the screen.
Going
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, look at it. Right now, if you would have bought those longs, you would be red right now. Even if it does recover, right now you would be red. Then you would get out for a loss. Then it would bounce on the 21, go in your favor, make new high, and you'd be like, every time I get in a trade, it goes against me. Pay the frick attention.
Don, you remember you was talking
Listen
about
to the
this?
sound of my voice.
Yeah.
You pay me to do this. You don't pay me for all the jokes and, well, some of you might, but I'm just saying, listen, you pay me for this training, this training right here, this stuff. This is where we make our money. This is why American Dream Trading is different. I need you to pay attention to these critical areas. Wait, be patient. Look for the A+ setup. Stop getting faked out. Stop loading the boat in weird spots. You don't need to do any of that. Like right now, if you're not in this trade, you're not even thinking about being in this trade, right? If you haven't been in this at all, it's not for you yet. This is not for you. What would I look for? A break up here to go long or a break below this 21 to go short. And it wouldn't be on a little wick. Does that make sense? This we don't touch.
Get in a trade and just be waiting for it to break out.
I hope that makes sense. Okay, great.
Really?
Yeah, I used to be like, I'm getting in this,
I
I'm
do.
gonna miss it. But now I wait.
Oh my God, right?
Yep.
You'll be
that's why
waiting
they're drawn
forever,
out, right? Cup.
like you was talking about.
You know who broke me out of that, David?
Mm-hmm.
I said this the other day. In one of his weekend classes, I remember the light bulb went off and it clicked, and I never did that without knowing what was going on. If I got into chop, I knew it's like you're doing something stupid right now. Before I didn't know. I was doing that. I'm like, okay, it's gonna go. No, you gotta draw that channel out and wait for it to break and hold. Mark, is huge with that. Wait for it to break and hold. Wait for it to break and hold. We heard Coach say that for years, and now we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Up, handle, retest, pulled back, hit the 21, bounced again, made new high, pulling back. That's why I said danger zone. Be careful. It has.
He would trade SPY, like this was like a year and a half ago, and he would say, wait, I'm going to get in this just a little bit early because I see that's where it's going.
Yeah.
I'll be damn if I bit the bullet on that so many times. And I finally got it through my thick head to wait. Those areas that he's talking about, wait. First of all, I wasn't charting. So when I finally started charting, no wonder he was saying wait. You don't get that until you get the value of charting. Once you get the value of charting, then you get why you don't get in those areas before that happens. Because you've seen through your charting that, it goes the other way here.
Mm-hmm.
Usually. Not saying it's going to automatically do it, but usually it goes the other way here. See how I did it here, and here? That's why you're drawing the line there. Durr. I felt so stupid. No wonder they're drawing these lines, right? Because this is what it's telling them. So it's like Coach used to read this thing like a book, and I'm like, how do you know? Dude, so I'm like, okay. But what kills me is when, you'll draw a line and you still won't do it. It's like, it's usually going to bounce here. Why would you go into a short? Did I hear you say that?
When I think that was Mark that was talking about that. He talking about it was coming up on resistance.
Yeah, and you said
a good Evo.
Yeah, somebody would want to get into a short.
Yeah.
Just because it's looking like it's really going down under there. And it's
I know what you're talking about. We were talking about MCL.
Right.
It looked like it's going to look like somebody said that. I've been waiting on it to dump. I'm like, dude, that thing been up all day long. If you waiting on that to dump, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's why you put the lines there, because it usually bounces either from the top or from the bottom. So, yeah. That's all.
It has to bounce off the.
I see all you guys down there in the chat. Welcome, Eric Smoto, Maria. I see you guys down there. Crispy. Hello.
21, or we're going to get lights out to retest.
Yeah, but your handle is a cup. Look at it.
It is.
Yeah,
Yep, the whole
that's
thing.
what you just said, Ralph, the baby.
Yeah.
When the 2-minute Evo traders are just sitting here, like 30 minutes into it, waiting.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you guys are already making money, so really, you guys are just looking at, right? Do I shed more? Do I add more? You know, if you're advanced, but otherwise, you guys are great still.
When the 2-minute was still above the 9, also.
Yep. Yeah, you guys are still. I mean, 2-minute EWO, you guys are sitting pretty, right?
So that's like the meat and potatoes of it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why we listen to him, because, you know, he teaches us the right way. You know, there's so many people out there that, you know, shout out to Ange, peace and blessings. You know, there's so many people out there to train you, but don't take the time to sit there and go through these trades like that. And you could tell he loves to do it. Like when he's making jokes and he literally is getting giddy inside because he knows this stuff and he's realizing that he's giving us really good shit, right? It's just up to us to take it and run with it, right?
Yeah.
So, and don't take it and run with it one day and then the next day you throw it out the window. You got to be consistent with it, you know. And I'm preaching to the choir, me right here too, because I am famous for doing that. I get it and can teach it, but doing it consistently, I haven't always been that, you know. So I've gotten better and better with it as time goes on, and now there will be a time when I will be so disciplined against it because I've been burned so many times, and I think I'm pretty much there, that it's just a given that no, I'm not going to do the wrong thing here. I'm going to, like Ann said in the beginning of the stream, I'm going to control what I'm thinking and doing because I can't control the market.
That's right.
You know,
I
don't want it to chop. Well, what are you going to do about it? Try to play it? Because you know what happens unless you're a scalper with a $100,000 account and you can make 10,000 on one candle move, you have no business in this.
For real.
You know,
yeah, I was
at
thinking
all.
about that today. You know, I mean, I know I know I'm not good at scalping, but I be like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Because I know I gotta get in small, so I gotta take a trade that has the potential to go the distance. You know what I mean? That don't mean that I won't take short trade setups, but I mean,
Yeah, because channel trading is different. I'll channel
yeah,
trade all day long. 5, 6, 7 candles, 5, 6, 7 candles up. Yeah, all day long. That's good money too, right there. But
yeah,
one candle chop, no, I can't deal with that, you know. But yeah, if it's running 5 or 6 candles, shoot, that's like $5 or $10. That adds up.
Yeah,
And if
do.
it's doing that all day, that's actually a good day. And
None of my trades was big trades today. I took all base hits.
yeah,
Every trade that I took was like 20 ticks here. You know, a couple of them might have been like 15 because I traded. So starting from 6 o'clock, or it was probably later, a little later than that, probably about 8 or 9. You know, I had traded what it was, Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. Those were like 20 tick moves. They didn't go for. And then I traded MCL with you after I woke up in the you know the pre-market. I traded MCL. It was going crazy, but even on that one, I only caught like 26 on that. And then after that, I traded MYM. I had 2 contracts of MYM, and I think I might have caught like 32 ticks. So and
nice.
then and then after that, I caught the euro. Now the euro went a long way. I wasn't expecting that. you know, I had to stay in that all day long, and then
I saw it. It went straight. It just kept going.
Yeah, it just kept going. So I wasn't expecting that one, but yeah, my trades was I did today. I missed the big run, you know, but I mean I ain't tripping about that because trades they come every day. So
They come, they go.
yeah.
So, well, this was really cool.
So
I'm
you
so
only
glad.
took the 2 trades, Dawn, the MCL and the MES.
I didn't look at. I did look at other stuff. I glanced at the euro. I glanced at what else did I glance? I glanced at M2K. but I didn't take any trades other than oil and ES. I went back and forth between the two of them. And then when both of them got choppy, I kept going back and forth between the two of them, looking to see which one was going to break out and stay in one direction. And they just drove me nuts, right? So I got in a couple of trades in ES and gave back like $20 of what I made today. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get anything else out of that. Actually, I lost 50, but at the end of the day, remember when Mark was on the live with Eric and he was talking about, you know, he thought it was going to go down, but it ended up going up, right? I got caught up in that. And then, but then when it finally broke a decision, he said he made like $8,000 or something on it when he was
on
doing
that downswing.
I
Yeah,
made that money back on all of those down candles. I stayed in that
that's
and
what's good
got,
about futures. You can get back in.
yeah, man. You
Oh, I
know
know what I was gonna talk to. The trading
what?
view change your life, huh? That trading view.
Man.
I'm
Wow,
telling you,
Ralph.
it's
Wow.
less discretion.
It's
I'm telling you,
night
man.
and day. I didn't realize how cumbersome the phone was until I started doing that.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, look,
No
trading view.
wonder.
You got coaches indicator. Everything is
Right.
on one stream. That's what I like about it. You know.
Yeah. Everything you're just clicking. Oh, okay. I want in. I want now. I see the dangers in it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because that'll make you want to overtrade, which I found
Yeah.
myself wanting to do. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This is better. Now that you can wait for better setups. Do it the other way. Don't
How
just
you
keep
enter your
getting
trades?
everything.
You use the buy sell buttons up at the top corner.
I
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah,
do.
that's what
Yep.
I use too. Yeah.
I hit the
That's what
buy and then it says modify, right?
hmm
Yes. I said I just
You can
hit the
add a stop.
buy.
You can add a stop. I think in Weaver you got to go and actually add the stop. But
On
some
on
depending on what
trading
broker
view
you
it
got,
just
you
I
can
just
slide
clicked
it
this.
down.
Yeah, I just click the stop and add,
Yeah.
either put it right below me or put it right above me once it passes me.
Yep. And that's it. It's real easy. Trading view just
Extremely
make it
easy.
quicker and more cleaner and better to me. You
Yeah,
know.
it really, and I'm used to it because I was playing replays a lot. And I still do
hmm
that on the weekends. Like Saturdays, that's my replay day where I'm just all day practically because Jen
Yeah.
works on Saturday. So after David's class, I'm just on Trading View doing replays all the time. And it was easy. It's the exact same thing. So she said, "Isn't that what you practice with?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
actually trading on it now."
Yeah. It
You
makes
know?
life a whole lot better. And then
Right.
Weaver is just like I like Weaver. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, you got the turbo trader entry, and they got so many different ways. It's kind of confusing on the future side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I
Then
was
you,
doing that on the phone.
yeah. Then you got to
And
worry
I'm
about canceling those stop losses and all that. It's just trading view make your life a lot better.
yeah.
They do.
Yep.
I be suggesting to everybody, but some people like Weaver, and I get that. You know what I mean? I get that. I
hmm
100% get that. If you know the platform like the back of your hand and it's working, stick with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
So.
sure. But oh my God, the ease of it. If they just allow themselves to get wind of how easy it is,
hmm
they would probably want to stick with that.
Yeah, some people stuck in their ways though. You know.
Yeah. I was up until 2 days ago.
hmm
I mean, it's like, no, I'm like it better on my phone. Man, I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
Now the
You
phone is
see
reserved for
everything.
trips. If we are out and about, that's where the phone is good for that. And backup. If I like when
That's
I
it.
cancel it, I did catch now a couple of times today where I did get stopped out, but it didn't stop me out on the phone.
Really?
And it was still going. Yeah.
What? Hey,
And
that
I
that
had to get
happen.
on the phone and end it.
Oh yeah. You got to check
So
both of them. I think
heads
Mark
up.
was
Yeah.
saying that. Make sure you keep both of them open.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
So I
did
don't
say that
use
today.
Weeble for futures, so I don't know. But
Yep.
in the pre-market, right? So if you was to Google it and ask Google do pre-market work for Weaver, the answer would be no. But you could take the trade from the phone. You have to take if you take the trade in trading view during the pre-market, right? It'll
Mhm.
show up, but the order will not execute. No matter if you put extended hours on or not, it still won't execute. The only way you can get the order to execute is so if you take the trade from the phone, right? You put the limit
Mhm.
order in, you're gonna see the line show up, and then you can control the line from there on trading view, and it'll work that way. So it's a loophole
The
to it.
very first time I connected TradingView to Webull yesterday, I was still weirded out by it. So I took a trade on the phone, and I see what you're talking. I saw it appear
Yeah,
on there, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, wait a minute, there's my order. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me start playing with it.
Yeah.
So I controlled it from there, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's the stop loss stuff like on the replay. Does that work? So I'm like, because I remember you guys saying something about the stop, but I'm like,
Yeah.
so if I use that, will it work? And I did, and I'm like, holy shit, it worked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And it came back and stopped me out. And I looked on my phone, and the trade was gone. I'm like,
Yes.
yes. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is easy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only thing is if you do it in the pre-market, since they don't have stops there, you just have to
Right.
you just do everything that you usually do on your phone in the pre-market, and it'll work on the screen. So basically, you just taking the phone. That's how I do during the pre-market when I'm watching it. That
Okay.
way, I'm just
So execute it on the phone, and then from there you can control it on the screen. You're
Uh-huh.
just taking it on the phone to get it to the screen.
Yep. And what I
Okay.
do is
In
what I do
pre-market.
is I put my limit order in. If I'm waiting in the weeds, and then it comes down to
Yeah.
pick me up. And once it picks me up, I go back to my phone and I put in the limit order that I get out with. You know, the one that you can drag down to get out of the trade.
Right.
Yeah. How you use turbo trader whenever you're doing pre-market, huh? When you're doing
No,
pre-market.
I was no pre-market. When I was trading those hot stocks, I was
Yeah.
doing limit orders.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's the same thing then. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
I use a limit order to get picked up in the weeds. And then once I get picked up, I put the limit order way up there, which is basically a take profit because they don't have no
Mm-hmm.
stops in pre-market, right? And then I
Yeah.
just have it up there, and whenever the candles start moving up, I just drag it down to get out.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the mechanic that I use for trading pre-market stocks, which I still trade, by the way, guys. I
I
never
know.
stop
I
trading
feel like I'm
stocks.
missing out because I've seen some really good opportunities, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm so all or nothing. And I'm like, you know what? You put a few dollars back over in that cash account and get
Mm-hmm.
because I'm training people on the L2 in the
Yeah.
morning, but I'm not trading them. So I'm like, get back in there and get a couple of dollars. It can't hurt. I mean,
So
come
yeah,
on.
so you don't want to say that around Mark, what you just said, because he gonna rub it in. So I don't know if he listening or not.
I think Mark does it, doesn't he? Doesn't he
No, but
trade?
you got on Mark about that. You in here trading and us, so you won't even get in the trade. So Mark heard you say that right there. I'm training
Right,
people in pre-market, but I'm not trading. I'm training them in there on the L2, and
right.
I see opportunities. And Mark heard that right
You're
now.
right. Oh my God. Oh, and he's down in the trap too. Oh. Mark, it's not the same thing, damn it. I did that because I'm committed to futures, not because I couldn't trade it or didn't want to trade it. But no, this was before futures. He was sitting there and he would
Yeah,
call stuff out to the letter. I mean, he
yeah.
would like say exactly where it was going to go. Look out for this. Don't do that. You know what I mean? And he would get in some of them. He would get in some
Mm-hmm.
of them, but not the way he was. And he certainly wasn't betting big. But when he started getting with that turbo key, it was on and popping. That
Yeah.
he started betting bigger. He was walking away with a comma every day. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, whoa, who is this?
Yeah,
I know
that's when
that's
Mark
right.
really did. Yeah, Mark really honed it in when he went. Listen,
Yep.
for everybody out there, I believe that the pre-market is the best place to start, no
Yeah.
matter where you trade futures, crypto, or stocks. And ADT, you come in, you get the VIP, get the diamond package, and get it over with. Come into the VIP, trade the
Mm-hmm.
pre-market start. Even if you ain't trading, you still training. All right, you get in there, all the mods are gonna be coming in. Boom, you're gonna be getting good tips, good help, and then after that, coach is gonna come in and he gonna do the VIP, and you're gonna get all that training, and then boom, you just disperse to your perspective. If you trade options, you stay in there. If you trade futures, you come on our side, and then when crypto get their zoom going, you go there. And that's the blueprint right there. You know what I'm saying? That is the blueprint right there. Start with the free market and get as much training as you can. Boom. Then coach come in, he do the talk and everything, and then that way you prepare mentally for the day, and then you finish off your day, and that's it. You know,
That's it.
you got to have a foundation, floor plan.
That is it in a nutshell, my brother.
Yep.
You know who I feel
Okay.
bad
Hmm?
for?
Who is that?
Like Cox, man. We have come
Oh
so
yeah,
far, and it's like,
yeah.
wow, if he had just stuck it out,
If he just stuck it out, I'm telling you.
yeah. If he had just stuck it out, he would be blowing up right now. Because he was
Hmm.
a smart dude.
Yeah, he was.
He was a smart dude. I
Yeah.
was sorry to see that not work out.
Yeah.
But
Trading
everybody is not gonna work out.
is not, and trading is frustrating. I think a lot of people just want to be like millionaires too bad, and so they
Yeah.
lose sight of the actual training and the process. But sometimes the market will sit you down, and you ain't got no choice but to either sit there and learn. You know what I mean?
Right. If
So
you hang in here, you're gonna learn. It's inevitable. You
yep.
know what I mean? Just from constantly hearing it. And then if you implement it, it's going to really, really click once you actually get in. That's why I was so
Hmm.
frustrated with Charles that morning when I was like, hey, Charles, let me ask you a question. When are you actually going to trade? And because he would have so many questions, good questions,
Hmm.
but he would ask the same question. Like a month or two would go by, and I'm like, wait a minute, you asked that same set of questions 2 months ago. Why are you just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
trading, even if you just do one or two shares, right? And go from there. It's like you're not going to learn it until you actually do it, you know. So it is what it is. Callie, what's up, baby? I don't want to make you talk, but how are you? Yay. Good to see you. I'm glad you're healing
100.
up.
All right, Callie.
How are you
I saw your
doing?
messages in the chat.
Doing good.
I
Pony.
heard
You
you.
doing
I heard you.
better?
I heard you straddled a pony. How was that?
I,
Kelly said she ran a straddle on pony. The stock. Pony. I said you
I
straddled a
know. Every
pony.
time I hear that stock, I think about her. She pushed that stock forever.
Kelly said I straddled a pony. I like what? I had to think about it. I was like, oh, the ticker. Oh, okay.
My little
Yeah.
pony.
But Dawn, you're absolutely right. Like uh and this is another reason why the pre-market is so valuable too, right? I mean, some
Hmm.
like we got a lot of future traders, right? And futures can be intimidating, especially for a person that don't have a lot of like money, because let's just be honest, you can't come in the futures market with no baby money. You gotta like you ain't it's no $7 stocks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't no $5. You can't just, grab a couple shares here. If you going on anything, it's gonna be like 50 and up if that's a lot for you. Man, everybody is different, right? That's probably nothing to most people who trade. But I was saying like that's why if you come into the pre-market and then one of you tell them they be like, I don't want to trade stock. Listen, trading is trading. You need to get in a real environment after you've been on the paper for a while. I'm not saying rush into it and take as much time as you want, but this is what's gonna happen. You done been trading, paper trading all that time. If you ain't never traded live, whenever you start trading live, it's gonna be like you starting to train
All
all
over
over
again.
again. So at least just go into a controlled environment, small amount, and you know what I mean.
And
Take it
learn
and
it
then
that way.
that way, yeah. And then if you mess up, it's fine. We all have. I messed up.
Hmm.
Listen, majority of the people in this group has went live and had to go back to paper. I know I have. So If you have to go back to paper, that's just part of the growing pains. But you ain't gonna know if you good or not if you don't get in that live environment. Rip that band-aid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went
You
renegade
know?
with it. I never paper traded.
Yeah, well, you know, I
I never
mean,
paper traded. I do replays now, but I never paper trade. I just went in small. And initially I went in, okay, like I'd spend $50 to $100. A couple of times
mhm.
I went overboard with some stuff, but I'm like, no, I want the real deal. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's just me. It's
that's
not
me
a
too.
smart way to do.
Me mentally, I gotta have some skin in the game. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I got deterred because I heard a lot of people saying, gee, when I go from paper, it's not the same thing. The fills are
It's
so much better.
over and
I'm like,
over.
oh, I'm not doing that then. So it deterred me.
Yeah,
Honestly. And I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I'm not doing that then. Because I don't want to get my hopes up, which is what it's designed to do,
it
and
is.
then go over and then I get my ass whipped. I'd rather just get my ass whipped
Yeah,
and learn it like that. I'd rather get in the ring, get punched a few times, and let my face harden up. Right.
yeah. It's a
So I can get used to, you know what I'm saying, Callie? So when I get hit, it's like it's not,
yeah.
okay, I've been here before. Let me dodge and yeah, you know what I mean? I want
Because
the real
Richard,
deal.
I think Richard was talking about that. He was like, the paper trading environment is designed to make it easier for the brokers to do that. So I'm like, all right, everybody is lying in paper. Then that's the reason. It's just it seems like everybody is like for number one, as humans, we lie to ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You
Big
know,
time.
we lie to ourselves. I'm just sorry. All of us do it. And then if the broker is making it look way easier than it is, they lying, right?
Right.
And then you know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like you can do whatever you want to treat it like it's a live account, but it's still just I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they want you
Listen,
to
trade
jump
paper as
in.
long as you need.
Yep.
As long as you need to trade paper, trade paper.
To get your
Don't
mechanics,
force
but don't in
into it.
any way, shape, or form think that the success that you're having in paper is going to translate over to real money because we're just keeping it real. It's not. You're
There
going
you
to
go. That's what I was
lose.
trying to say, Don. You could
Yeah.
have said it no better. That's
It's
what I
not
was
gonna
trying to
it's
get
not
out.
gonna translate. It's
Yes.
just we're just keeping it real. It's not.
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
get in and you start losing, don't think that the paper was bullshit and that you don't know how to trade. No, the fills are just completely different. All you got to do is go in real money small so
Hmm.
that you can get the rhythm of how the fills actually do happen before you go in heavy,
And
right?
don't even think about making money.
Right.
Don't even
Right.
think
It's not
about
about
making
making
money.
money when you
Uh-uh.
first start.
Uh,
Ultimately, yeah. But when you first get in, you're strictly learning. You're
that's it.
not in it to make money because if you go in it with that attitude, all you're going to do is lose money.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just keeping it real, you know?
Yep.
And there are some people who get in and have a knack for it and do well right away. But
Oh yeah.
eventually, they run into a situation where they lose. You
Hmm.
will lose in the market. That's something that's going to happen.
100%.
The best traders lose money in the
100%.
market. So
Absolutely.
Ange told the story. And we all know Ange came in kicking ass,
And
right?
is one of the greatest traders I know.
Yeah. And
Really.
she
She
got
took that
humbled,
thing like a
you
fish
know,
to
and I
water.
knew that was going to happen one day, but I just hoped she was going to make it through. And she did. She's
Hmm.
resilient. So she made it through her bad period. She readjusted and she came back. Okay, now I know what I done took some losses now, right?
Yeah.
You know, we've seen Mark take losses. We saw GC take losses. We've seen Coach lose
Everybody. Coach.
150K in a day and
Yes.
come back,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, man. That
Sound like
trading,
somebody's
bro.
trying to come in.
Oh, they got somebody coming in.
Yes, we do.
Uh-oh.
Hey, lady.
Girl, hey.
Um, hey, girl. Hey.
Girl, hey.
That's
Something's
Christina.
happening.
That's
Yeah,
C
she's
Mac.
trying to come in here. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's trying, but for whatever reason, it's not taking.
Dude,
But
I
yeah,
need some help and all that. Is it
what'd
okay
you say,
working
Ken?
your little folks?
But yeah, man, that trading is just it plays with your mind.
It does.
It's hard on your
It'll
psychology.
yeah, it's extremely hard. You will
But
beat
then,
yourself down.
yes, especially if you came into the game. Now, I came into just think I come into trading into this group with no money. I didn't have no startup money, none of that. Just broke from the beginning, and you hear all these wins, and I'm gonna just let you know right now, if you ain't got no money, or you got a little bit of money, that thing could be going to the moon, and you gonna be sitting here like, what the hell? Why did I make that? You made what? I was in the same thing you was in, wasn't I?
Or what's worse is you've used all your buying power, or you did stupid stuff and lost all your shit. And then you hear the Erics and the Davids and yeah, I just made 10 grand and it just adds to your depression.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But
Yeah, and then I'm glad you said that, Dawn, because you just jogged my memory about something. So futures, I feel like speeds up the process because you can get more screen time in a live
right.
environment once you trade it. Because when I first started with no buying power, I'd be up in there juggling like, do I want to take one trade or two trades? And I know that we supposed to have only one less trades or whatever, but trying to get screen time with an account that got like less than $100 or something in it, like it's gonna
It's
be tough.
hard. It's
It's gonna be
hard.
really tough
The
trying to
only way
get
you can
screen
do
time.
that is pre-market.
That's why I came there. Everything is a little cheaper, so you can kind of like spread your trades out. And then I
Yeah,
realized that
$100 can go a long way in the pre-market. You can take
yes,
those dollar trades one at a time
mm-hmm,
and do 100 trades in a day in the pre-market with
yeah, with a
$100.
hundred
You
dollar
know?
account.
Yep.
And then it just feels good when you take a small account up. You be like, man, I had this account when it was this small, and now it's this much. Yeah.
Yep.
But in
So
future, if you could, get the money together to get it in there, that's it. You could take trades. Now I ain't saying go crazy, but you can get more screen.
yeah, because
Whenever
you
you
can
see a
do
setup, you can take.
M2K, M2K contract is $73.
Mm-hmm.
So with $100, you got a $30 threshold that can handle a couple of pullbacks,
Yep.
but not many.
Not many.
Because before you know it, that $30 is gone, right?
Yeah.
So you can get in there with $100 and trade M2K and just try to build, but you got to wait for setups. Doug
That's
was
it.
talking about that. You
You
gotta wait. You
will
can't
get.
you can't scalp that.
You shouldn't be scalping anyway if you're brand new.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
scalp that because you're gonna lose that $30 threshold that you got just from
Yeah.
pullbacks.
For real.
So get in an EWO and stop getting scared out. Just sit in it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Evo.
And you'll get
Stop
it
at
as
the
long as you got
21.
all your. And if you got coaches indicators, God, they got the stars right up the top. You don't even have
Mm-hmm.
to do any thinking,
And then they got
right?
the trend channel and everything.
I
Everything
love
is
the
laid
regression
out for you.
channel.
Yep. That
Somebody was
regression
asking
channel.
Mark about that this morning, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, the regression channel is amazing.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I used to hate it at first. I even took it off because
You
I
said
thought it
you
was
took it off your screen, right?
yeah. I had a coach's indicator. I took it off because it was shifting, and I just didn't know how to use it. That's what it boils down to. I didn't know how to use the indicator, and like I couldn't understand. I'm like, this thing moving on me every time, and it'll go up to it, and I'm like, but it's breaking out the channel. But yeah, I learned how it shifts and what makes it
It
move.
respects those lines.
It
It really
does.
does.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it's coming to the top of the regression channel. I will shed or get out and get back in because I've seen it pull back from there too many times where it'll keep tapping it and won't break that.
Mm-hmm.
So and Mark said, when it breaks out, usually it'll run. So
Yep.
yeah, that regression channel is real. And
Mm-hmm.
Richard talks about the mean all the time, the middle line.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It comes
okay,
back to
yeah,
the middle of that channel and then it'll stop there. Yep.
yep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So he's got a name for it. It's like, that's the mean.
Yeah, whenever I be like, oh, you know what they're using, I'll be like, yeah, I'll use coach's indicator, but you know, like when we started, our stream looked just like our coach stream looked. It just what we had, VWAP and the 200 and the
Yeah.
EWAP. Yeah, so that's what I
Yeah, there
started.
wasn't no 9 and 21 and all that. And
Uh-uh.
when I first came in the group, there wasn't none of that going on.
Yeah,
David was talking about the 9, but the 21 and the 55, I think he
yeah,
was experimenting. He and Mitch were experimenting and talked to coach about it and convinced them. But I'm glad they did, and I'm glad he
yeah,
listened to
because it
them.
works. It works.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And we evolve over time, you know. So
yeah. Mark has built his, now I can say, fortune off of that, trading off
yeah,
the 9.
yep,
You know, so it's doable. You know.
yep, it works. The thing we done came so far because I used to be scared to mention number 9. You talking around coach, you be
I
like,
remember
count it
that.
out to us. You be like 7,
Yeah,
8, 6.
remember that was the forbidden.
Yeah,
You
you didn't
couldn't
want to
talk
say
about
9
the
around
9. I remember Eric would talk about it,
there.
and everybody was like, "Eric, coach don't want us talking." Like, no, somebody else mentioned it. Who else would mention it? And they would get slammed. But Eric would talk about it, and nobody would say anything because Eric
Yeah,
was Eric, you know, and he was getting
but I get
paid.
it though, because
Right,
if
right.
price come back to the 9, you shouldn't get out of the trading. That's what coach was like. You know, if we use the 9 to get in the trade. If price is respecting the 9, you good. For me, my out is the 21. I mean, I guess it depends on the trade. It got a breaking hold under the 9. I'm not getting out just because it came to the 9. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You know,
I keep my stop halfway between the 9 and the 21.
yeah, that's a good
To
spot.
the upside. I keep it
Yeah.
halfway between the 9 and the 21. That way it doesn't wick me out.
Hmm.
And if it heads down to the 21, especially if there's a decent amount of space, then I get stopped out. I keep my money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I just put it right halfway between the 9 and the 21. And it's like, that seems to be a good spot. You
Yeah, that's
know,
a good spot.
yeah,
Coming
you
into the
don't get stopped
trade,
out as much.
I keep it right there. Like coming into the trade, I keep it like once it get up there a little bit, I put it like a little bit under the 21 just to
Mm-hmm.
give it that breathing room, especially if I'm in the green already. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it'll wick you out early, but because them wicks and futures are just, I ain't never seen nothing like
Dude, it's like they target you.
it. Yes. Them
It's like
futures
they knew
wicks,
I was sitting there.
them futures
Oh
wicks ain't no
man.
joke. I'm telling you. Like, man, it's
I
that
swear, and this is a no, but I swear, and I'm not in the habit of doing this because I'm like, listen, if it comes down here, I'm in profit. I don't want to move it down and take away my profit. So I'm greedy like that. I'm gonna keep that down. I'm not moving it down.
yeah.
But the one time today, I messed around and moved it down a little bit because I saw that thing coming down, and I'm like, well, I'm not even at the 21 yet. I'm really kind of up under the 9. Let me move it down just a little bit. I'll be damned if that thing didn't keep on going and follow me until it stopped me out. I'm like, just take it.
Just take it.
Just take. I'm not gonna move it down anymore. Just take it. It kept
Oh, I
going when
fell in
I
this.
was going. I'm
I
like,
fell in a
no.
slump. I
I
fell in a
stopped.
slump,
I'm like, take
though.
it.
I fell in a slump because of this. When we first started doing futures, like,
Mm-hmm.
cause when we first started doing futures, I was just doing forex heavy, but I was trading higher time frames and holding price for like 2 or 3 days. So with futures, was intraday, and I'm like trying to trade the indices or whatever. But coach came in one day and gave a master class. The problem I see a lot in futures is moving the stop into the break even too fast. You know what I'm saying? That was my frustration. Like I fell into a slump over behind that. It's just, I told coach it seemed like every time I move my stop into the break even, like how you got they lowered the fees, but before they lowered the fees, you had to get like 3 ticks in order to do
Right.
so. As soon as I see like 4, 5 ticks, I just boom, put it on that 3, 4 ticks right away. And
Right.
every time I do that, bam, popped in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So,
I get it. Yeah.
and whenever coach was like, he came in there and he explained the ATR as 5 move like $3 a day or whatever, a breathing room, and then he was like, keep it at the 21. When I
Mm-hmm.
did that, changed my life. I'm telling you, it changed my life, friend. You gotta wait till that thing consolidates and then go higher before you move your stop up. or you just gonna be getting out at break even. Now I ain't
Yeah.
saying don't let green trade turn red, because it'll go up and then it'll come back down and that'll be it. Just hit the X and get out. But if you're trying to lock in your profit, and give it a little bit, and you'll see a major difference in your trading. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
Coach had told us to do, and that's that. From that day on, it was cool because I was like, but I was like, I don't take that many trades, and if I'm losing like $20, I stop or whatever. And I'm talking about this is like I was having them red days. This was like in
Mm-hmm.
December, I want to say. And coach was like, well, how much you put on the trade? I was like, man, I be putting like, you know, 15, 20 ticks or $20 risk or whatever. Coach was like, well, shoot, you got plenty enough room. Let that thing work. He'll like, let
Right.
the trade work, and then when they get up, move it. That little change and tweak changed my whole trading. So, yeah,
Wow.
you got to give it that room.
I'm
Especially if you're
excited to
doing,
do too many EWOs now with the indicators and this hook up with the trading view and Weeble. I'm excited
yes.
to do some EWOs now. Just sit and wait for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do too.
Yeah. I'm excited to do the EWOs. I'm not gonna try to scalp it. I'm like, wow, now that I've got the stops and everything, and yeah, I'm just gonna put it
Yeah.
right above my position and let it work. Let it get on up there, let it do its little pullback thing or whatever, and just
Yeah.
let it go. Then move it up, but still have enough room where it can work.
Mm-hmm.
But so much so, like, if you have a decent amount of profit already, even if it comes back and stops you out,
You still
you've
good.
already made a decent amount of profit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, it doesn't make sense not to do it. So hopefully we'll get some tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Tomorrow should be a better day because, all right, we had like a big daily candle today. I mean, not today. Yesterday's candle was a huge candle because of that big gap up that they had on Sunday night. And
Yeah.
so Sunday night was Monday's candle. And then so you had like a big move. And then today's candle was like this. So you had like a huge candle, and then you had a candle that was about this size, but it went up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a higher high. And
Right.
so, you know, either tomorrow's candle gonna be like a down day or it's gonna go up. I know that's generic. You just gonna pop a drop. But what we need is for on the daily chart. If the candle is wide, that's the days that you want to hone in on your EVO strategy. And if it's a candle that got like a short spread on a daily chart or a doji candle, those days gonna be more of your scalping days. And the EVO still gonna work, but it's just gonna be like short runs. Like today was a candle with a narrow spread. So you see how choppy it was. It was just like every time you got in the EVO, they was working, but then they failed. You just only had that one run in the morning, and that's the
When you
reason why
say
the
narrow spread, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about from the open price to the close price, from the
Okay,
low of the
okay,
candle
okay.
to the high, the body, not the wick. You know,
Okay, okay.
yeah, from the open to the close. If it's
So a
a
smaller
wide
body
spread,
means
if
okay.
it's a small body like a doji, that's a choppy day. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yep. And
That makes
then
sense because they're indecisive. So that
right,
makes complete sense. So the
yeah,
wider spread means it's giving you one direction in that way.
yep. And then you could count the wicks if you want to say, all right. So say if it's a doji candle, but it has a long tail on it, then it probably
Mm-hmm.
was a run in that. It was a run somewhere in there because that's a wide spread. You know what I mean? So that
Right.
means price went up and it came down and then it just closed tight, right? But if you got a candlestick on the daily chart that's real like short, then that was like more likely a channel day. The price didn't
Yeah,
move
so
too much
you're looking at it after the fact though. So how can that help you in the day you're in? Just I guess keep
because
an eye on it.
Because when you trade in the 2 minute chart, right? So like if you trade in the 2 minute chart and you looking at the candles that done printed already, you can almost tell what the next candle is gonna be, right? Or if it's halfway through, like whenever we start the New York session, half of the day has passed already. You know what I mean? So if
Okay.
that candle is wide already, you be like, shoot, we didn't went all the way up there. It might come down. So and then whenever you look back, because you got to look back on it, like you said, because the candle haven't finished yet.
As it's
That's
forming,
it.
right.
Yeah, yeah. As it's forming, you can say, okay, this candle was wide, so price been running up a lot. You know what I mean? So,
Cool.
because you can
Thanks for
see
the
it,
tip.
you can see it when we get off of here. Go to the daily chart, and the
Right.
candle that's going right now, it's probably gonna have some body, and you can tell automatically,
Because
like,
of the run up.
yeah,
I
it's
know I'm
been
calling.
moving already. Yeah, but it's starting to get late now. So what time is it?
King
I don't
Charles.
know, but
We've been
it's
on for a
about time for
while.
us to go ahead and get out of here and grab some dinner and spend time with our families.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Callie, for coming and hanging out
All
with us
right,
and
Callie.
keeping your mic open and get coughing and phone ringing.
Callie said she sat up
Callie
that
wouldn't be
pony.
Callie if she did not have a hot mic. I swear to God, that woman. Girl.
Driving me crazy. I can't talk.
Her and her
Love you,
hot mic
Callie.
ass. Love you, Callie.
Love y'all too.
Yeah.
Feel better. Ralph, this has been an amazing conversation. I love it when you're
Yeah,
on
I'm
here.
glad I came on.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Everybody have a great night. I'm gonna go ahead. I think Coach may still be trying to sell his diamond, so I'll go ahead and play that ad, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here.
That's the Ralph
But
diamond.
yeah, that's what you need to get, because that covers all the bases, and I don't know what else to say about that. But he will explain it.
Yeah. All right. Later, guys.
All right, Ralph. See you tomorrow, brother. See you tomorrow, Callie. Everybody down in the chat, thank you for being here. Love your faces. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the comments and responding to each other and taking care of each other down there. I love you guys, and I will see you in the mañana. Let me get this right over here.
Choose rules.
We're gonna do the ad first, Callie.
Okay.
Yep, we're gonna sell the metal first, and then we'll do the rules.
I've got someone.
You've got what, babe?
I've got someone. Am I still on? Am I still muted? Nurse that comes here wants to learn how to do marketing. So how do I get her to use my? I don't have an affiliate link.
I think maybe put a ticket in. You should have an affiliate link.
I had one, but I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, I would put a ticket in and ask them to show you how to get there.
I clicked on a couple of their links, but it didn't show me nothing. So I'll try again.
Yeah, try again or put a ticket in and they'll walk you through it.
Buddy.
All right, darling.
I love you guys.
Love you too, baby.
Know how to get it out of this.
Okay, I'm gonna need new batteries in this mouse.
Oh, yours
there
is
we
doing
go.
stuff too? Because all of a sudden I had no sound on your YouTube.
Well, this won't go off.
Please follow the rules. Nobody go rogue. Some of the rules that we have to and live and die by in here is do not lose more than 1 to 3% of your total account value in any given day. Make sure you have stop losses on each and every trade, regardless of shares and or options. Make sure you guys are practicing small base hits. Don't go for home runs. Allow the runners to run and stop out the losers. If you're a new trader, make sure you are paper trading using a simulated trading system such as Webull or some of the other ones that are out there. If you are an expert trader, please make sure you also are being careful the first 3 minutes and the last 8 to 9 minutes of the day. Those are the absolute most volatile times in the entire market. Also, if you're a newer trader, please don't trade in the first 30 minutes or the last hour of the day. Those are the most dangerous times.